I was a 9-year-old aspiring tennis player coached by a father who'd been a world-class tennis champion. On this day, I played my first competitive tennis tournament. My expectations were limitless. I arrived at the tennis club with my entire family in tow. The emotional stakes couldn't have been higher to me. I knew most everyone at the club, including my opponent, who was a friend I'd grown up with. Today, I would prove that I was the best of my friends. I would prove, like my father, that I was made to be a tennis champion. My confidence was unshakable that day, until I stepped on the tennis court. Nothing felt right. My body was tight as a drum from my first step on the red clay court to my last. I couldn't breathe freely. All the practice felt nothing like the tension I now felt all around me. The fans, the opponents, the other matches, everything was moving so fast. My match was an hour-long humiliation. I was a doe caught in headlights. I didn't win a single game, an outcome for which I was completely unprepared. When it was over, I shook hands and hurried off the court as fast as possible. I found a big tree and sat on the ground behind it. I wanted to hide. I wanted to be alone. Within a minute, though, I saw the dreaded sight of my father walking toward me. I didn't want to be seen. I let my dad down. My stomach was in knots. My father sat on the ground beside me and asked how I was doing. My stomach hurts, I mumbled, fighting back tears of humiliation. Now? He asked. I grunted. A long pause later, my father asked, "Are you going to be a good player or a great player someday?" Breathe, think, answer. A great player? Yes, a great player, my father said. Another long pause later, he asked, "How does your stomach feel now?" Surprised by the question, I shifted my attention to notice how my stomach felt. I was even more surprised to discover my stomach pain had subsided considerably. The difference was stark. "Better," I said, breathing more freely all of a sudden. "Good. Time to practice. Let's go when you're ready," my hero said as he stood up. I didn't fully grasp the power of what I'd experienced that day until many years later. Only in retrospect did I see that conversation with my dad as my first experience observing that my thoughts were creating the story in my head and also changing my emotional state and the related physical sensations occurring in my body. Thankfully, my pain was cultivated into a lesson that day. My father took the opportunity to plant a seed of wisdom in me that would flower over the years. The grown seed flowered, eventually transforming my inner world and becoming a key lesson I use every day of my life.